So, this is your God Emperor speaking to you, enjoying himself immensely. World War III has started, and unless America wants to end as the empire and give over all of its power to its rivals, the only pathway is to follow my rule and nuke Iran into the Stone Age. But if you look at the previous videos, we talked about all of the cannibalism in Hollywood, all the elite eating babies, Madonna with a black meat, which of course reminds one of duck and goose, which I had in Hong Kong. I totally recommend Hong Kong if you're a person that loves goose and duck. Wonderful place for food. Anyway, let's start with the elite.
Satanism is a religion for the elite. It is a religion for leaders. It's a religion for competent people. It's not a religion for anyone who wants to be a Satanist. We don't say, well,
the homeless, the handicapped, those
I don't care. I don't want the homeless, the handicapped.
And there, of course, is Taylor Swift's mother with Anton LaVey. They do have similarities. As I say, Zena LaVey looks more like Taylor's mother than her mother.
Attitude they need not apply.
I don't want to. You've taken that on your shoulders. That's your job. You're doing a great job with the homeless. You help everyone. We're helping those who help themselves, as it says in your Bible. And you can take the weak.
Well, it doesn't say that in the Bible.
You can take the decrepit. You can take people who can't help themselves. We don't want them. It's simple. We have no regard for...
Now, I talked about in the past ones on Lucifer, the past two, about how the light is defrequencyized so that it can allow the Elohim to try and become the new source, the new God. And if you look in Christian text, you'll see the seraphim and the cherubim. What do they do to empower their God? They sing. So singers are vital for the Elohim to parasitize the source, the choirs of God. And if you are agnostic, Yaldabaoth have the screaming voices embedded within the body of Yaldabaoth, screaming constantly to vivify the Gnostic God, which is totally evil.
At the top of the top, which albums are prayed over demonically. Music is prayed over demonically. And that goes out to the world, goes out to the radio stations, goes out to the public. And when you see that stuff and know that stuff, it's frightening.
What do you mean by that, Shane? Prayed over demonically?
Rituals, ceremonies to give light to the devil, to Satan. It's a satanic music industry. If you look at what the music is today, the industry is today, for all your Sam Smiths to your Dojo Cats to your Beyoncés they are so demonic, it's unbelievable. And we can't, it's in front of us. It's something that we kind of go, oh, it's just music. But it really isn't. It's absolutely taken over the world, taken over our children, and taken over everything that's coming to the times of world crisis. I've been in rooms at the top of the top, which albums are prayed over demonically. Music is prayed over demonically.
Now, we looked at the People's Voice, and it's very strange the People's Voice guy is still alive, so he's obviously controlled opposition. If it was causing any damage to the elite he'd be suicided or accidented. He just rambles away. His latest victim is Ashton Kushner, friends of Diddy, who's in jail, and some other actor that's got stuck in jail for rape horrors. Not going to bother. But anyway, why the people's voice is allowed to exist is because it's the revelation of the method, which is part of the occultism. What's revelation of the method? Well, if we reveal what we're going to do to you and you don't stop us, then you've given your free will to us. So you have loved evil by not doing anything against us and hated good because you haven't done anything against us. So you can see the mechanism of the revelation of the method, and the people's voice is simply part of the system, because there's no way that working class oik would be allowed to shit on the elite if he wasn't a servant of the elite. So you can see how the system works. Now, we talked about the cannibalism, and in the previous videos we talked about the light being defrequencied, going into the material world, into the bodies of these engineered vessels, these tulpas that get a soul, and then we go back again and reiterate, and their soul from the Garden of Eden, which actually is the Abaddon cage, puts them in a shell of flesh. So if you are the Elohim, then the last part of this technology, because it is a technology, only yours truly on the planet understands fully what the Elohim were doing, so he could take over. Thank you very much, Elohim, you've been Jewed. It would require that you eat the bodies of the engineered vessels, and once you've had 100, you have the 100 monkey effect. So if you can possess the people that eat the flesh of the babies, then they are the conduit to allow the Elohim to rise to godhood. And if you look at the penultimate grail state, you'll see the assemblage point is in the center, which is needed to link with the ultimate grail state, where the assemblage point's in the center, linked up to the source, which is the neo state, and outside of the ram's horn, where love for the Trinity does the ram's horn, which is the torsion field going inwards, anti-clockwise calls to clockwise inward, where you have the neo killed and its time density transferred to a state where it loses all goodness, and the line goes out to the nearest earth energy power collector, all mediated by the Grail Stone. That in fact is the foundation of this whole technology. So the Freemasonic grid is there to collect the culled neos and enable their light to go through the Grail patterns back to the penultimate Grail state, which gives you your angels and your demons in human flesh, as in supernatural, where you've got the angels possessing humans and you've got the demons possessing humans. It's all there in Supernatural, the series. I know it's a huge thing to watch. I'm going through the episodes I haven't watched, but it's all there. Revelation of the method. So we have demons in human clothing and angels in human clothing. The demons are the ones that hate good, and the angels are those who love evil, which links up with the new source regime which I put into place, where the forsaken are the human vessels of the new source demons, and the kings and queens of Edom are the new source vessels of the angels. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, cannibalism is vital for this process. So you see that the possessed Hollywood crowd go around eating children and babies. And we've got Megan Fox.
A satanic ritual, don't know any people who have been a part of the satanic ritual. I'm not sure if the Illuminati is real. It probably is. I have not been extended an offer to join. I feel like if it was real, I would have been given an offer to join by now. So yeah, it's just to squash that. Not a Satanist or any kind of like an evil witch, light worker. Yes.
She doth protest too freely. Now, if you're a Christian, you're a cannibal because you're tricked into eating the body and blood of Christ during your Holy Mass. Why? Well, we've got the Hollywood demons. They all do rituals to sell their souls. So all of the Hollywood elite, like Ellen DeGeneres and DiCaprio, Epstein, Weinstein, Woody Allen with their jerky and cream cheese. Do you like cream cheese, cameraman? Dojo Cat, Gaga, Miley, it just goes on and on and on. Taylor, they're all possessed by demons. They do the rituals to get them possessed. They have to do the blood sacrifice to become successful. Why the blood sacrifice? Well, when you slaughter some young baby or kid, you're in the ram's horn. You've got the anti-clockwise negative spiral, 7 spirals link you to the interdimensional realm where the Abaddon cages are, and you've then got the clockwise spiral going inwards, which of course is the dragon energy linking to the earth energies, which links the witches to the ram's horn that destroys the Neo, and the Neo of course is a Jesus or a Charlie Kirk. The Neo. So the witches become possessed by the ram's horn by doing the sacrifice of the babies or children, so that when they eat the flesh of babies and children, which we showed a whole variety on the People's Voice, I'm not going through it again, they, as demons, can then process the defrequency light to build the Elohim not from the Grail state, which the Neo suffers in. Remember, they're in the penultimate Grail state, but from the Grail state where the Ramshorn doesn't face them but faces away. So there's a Grail state where the Ramshorn faces away, and all of this sacrifice feeds a Grail state which the Neo achieved but lost it via love, Erica Kirk, and various other trinities for the Neos, Mary Magdalene, which then builds the Grail state for the Elohim, which can then power and empower their demons, the penultimate Grail state, or angels, the penultimate Grail state, and all of the patterns taking over the Earth's energy via the Grail patterns to control reality, because you're irrelevant compared to the Earth's energy field. Control the Earth's energy field, everything on Earth is controlled by whoever controls it. Name of the game. That's why I went to Hong Kong to set up the anti-fountain group to, instead of make the West and all the Freemasonic controlled countries prosper, to destroy them and suck all the goodness out of these countries that are fed on the Neos and are established by the Neos, and the entire Freemasonic grid was powered by the Neos. Take it all for myself, so that's done at the winter, to plunge the West into anarchy, chaos and destitution. So what's happening to the UK, the centre of Freemasonic infrastructure, it's got no more oil now. So the UK's run out of oil, and there'll soon have to be petrol rationing in the UK and Europe if the Straits of Hormuz isn't opened in the very near future. So hence Trump's offensive next week. So the Mass is where the Christians eat the body and blood of Christ, so they then of their own free will agree to exactly the same modality as the demons eating human flesh, all the A-listers are eating human flesh like Oprah, Diddy, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and the rest of them, according to the People's Voice, which is the revelation of the method, as demons. But here we've got the angels being able to possess the Christian filth, the lowest form of scum, to be cannibals too, because the time density of the cannibalized from the demons, which is love of evil Christians to hatred of good demons. And it all starts, remember, with hatred of good. So the demons start the process, but then to pump it all into the interdimensional realm, we need love of evil Christians to stick it into the Abaddon cages, where the tulpas go through the process to make souls, then get embodied in flesh, then get eaten by demons and angels, and then all that dumped into the Elohim to make the Elohim God via the last Grail state, where the Neo touches a source and the Elohim take over the Grail state, with the Ramshorn not facing them but facing away. This whole technology all in plain sight and all dependent upon cannibalism, because the D-frequency light from the abdominal cages goes into matter. Remember, Kozyrev time density is matter over matter, not mind over matter, matter over matter. So it's basically consuming time density to elevate the intradimensional alien filth to godhood by parasitizing the source.